I got the moves. I got the moves. Oh, I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
The NBA season is right around the corner, and today I'm going to be bringing you part 1 of my standings predictions, starting with the Western Conference. If you weren't here last year, I did this before the start of the last season, so I want to keep doing this. I'm going to try to post 3 days in a row. I will be posting part 2 of the Western Conference standings tomorrow, and then a collab. Anyway, let's jump right into this. Number 15, the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks have a pretty good roster on paper. They have Dirk Nowitzki, Seth Curry, Harrison Barnes, Nerlens Noel, Yogi Ferrell, and of course, Dennis Smith Jr., in my opinion, a top 5 Rookie of the Year candidate. But this team is just not ready to be playoff contenders after last season. They finished 11th in the Western Conference with a record of 33-49. So this year, I think they should tank. There are amazing prospects coming into this year's draft, like Michael Porter Jr., Marvin Bagley III, and Luka Doncic. If Dallas can land a top 3 spot, then they have got enough young talent moving forward to dominate the Western Conference at a later date. I project this team will win 25 to 30 games because they need that top 3 pick. Number 14, the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns have plenty of young talent ready to break out and star. One player in particular that I love is Devin Booker. He averaged 22 points last season and even had that 70-point game. Remember, he is only in his 2nd season, about to make his 3rd. The sky is the limit for him, so we'll have to see if he can grow more this next season. There is also Eric Bledsoe, who is an extremely underrated point guard, and I feel like he deserves more attention. He puts up 21.1 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 6.3 assists last season, which is definitely all-star worthy numbers. Eric Bledsoe is definitely ready to get some more touches and assists next season. He deserves it. And don't forget about the man Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson was drafted 4th overall and averaged 17.4 points per game in the Summer League, with 9.2 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and a block per night. He is projected to do very well this year, and even though he isn't a major Rookie of the Year candidate, analysts project he will do extremely well on the Suns this coming season, and hopefully he can make some impact right away. The Suns also have other young talent which could be useful next season. Those players are Tyler Ulis, Alex Len, Marquise Chris, and Brandon Knight. They also have former star Tyson Chandler and Jared Dudley. This team has such a bright future, and all these young players could have fantastic seasons, but I do think they are still a couple of seasons away from truly breaking out and showing everyone what they got. This team is still way too young, and I don't think the chemistry will be there straight away. Eric Bledsoe is always in trade rumors with this team, and is always ready to be shipped out by the Suns. I think he'll get sick of that and request a trade. Maybe that's a bold prediction. I predict the Suns will finish with a record of 30 wins to maybe 35 wins max, but that's only just. 32 wins for them seems about right. Number 13, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers just drafted one of the most hyped up players ever since maybe LeBron James, and that man is Lonzo Ball. Lonzo was a star in high school and college and is notorious for making his team better. I mean, in 2017 we saw Lonzo make a UCLA team go from 6-12 to 15-3. In the Summer League, he led the Lakers to the championship, and in the draft, he got TJ Leaf, his UCLA teammate, get drafted way higher than he should have, simply because he made him look better. Lonzo is such a great prospect in my opinion, and is definitely a chance for the Rookie of the Year. But we are forgetting about the others too. Remember, there's Brandon Ingram, who even though he had a bad rookie year, is looking as ready as ever to break out this season. Over the offseason, Ingram reportedly grew to 7 feet tall. Yes, 7 feet tall. He has also reportedly been improving his jump shot dramatically this offseason, and if all of this is true, then I can see Ingram becoming a Giannis or Kevin Durant type player and taking over the league with Lonzo. There's also Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's a promising player with a lot of hype, but he was supposed to break out 2 years ago and didn't, then he was supposed to do it again last year, but didn't, so I don't know if he can. He's great on defense, but is really inconsistent. He is so hard to judge on whether he'll do good or bad. Then there is Brook Lopez, who is a 20 points per game scorer and is a perfect player to combo with Randall and run pick and rolls with Lonzo. But if we think realistically here, the Lakers are way too young and inexperienced. Most of this team is a bunch of rookies and sophomore players, so if we think properly, it's clear to see that a team like this is too young and is doing no damage whatsoever to the league. Despite what LeVar says, Lonzo and the Lakers won't make the playoffs, and it won't be close. I project this team will win around 33 games, 35 games at the max. Number 12, the Sacramento Kings. I was really stuck between the Lakers and Kings for the 13th and 12th spot, but I put the Kings here, and here is why. The Kings are flying under everyone's radar this offseason because this team actually pulled off some big moves that will definitely help them move up the Western Conference ladder. First of all, they signed some veterans that will help them grow their rookies. Those two players are Vince Carter and Zach Randolph. Yes, two clear Hall of Famers will be teaching the young guys on the squad to become stars. The Kings also signed George Hill, a brilliant starting point guard from Utah. Definitely nowhere close to being on a Damian Lillard level, but he's definitely better than nothing. The Sacramento Kings also signed European star Bogdan Bogdanovic. I am not too sure on how he'll do this season, but if he can become at least average, then I think the Kings have made the right move picking him up. The most important thing about this offseason for the Kings though are their amazing draft selections. For the first time in a long time, the Kings have made some amazing choices this offseason. They drafted De'Aaron Fox, a top 5 candidate for the Rookie of the Year who averaged 11 points and 3 assists in the Summer League. The Kings also drafted Frank Mason III, Justin Jackson and Harry Giles. All three could be all-stars or quality players in their careers. And the young talent continues for the Kings. Buddy Hield, Willie Cauley-Stein and Skal Labissiere are all packed with potential. Of course, this team won't make the playoffs, but I'm definitely on the Sacramento hype train in the coming years. I see the Kings winning 33 to 37 games next season. Number 11, the Utah Jazz. Okay, I'm sorry Jazz fans, but your roster is simply not good enough to compete in such a talented Western Conference. Your best player is Rudy Gobert, who is an all-NBA player, sure, but the rest of your play is just average. Derek Favors is aging and is average for his position, same with Joe Johnson. Ricky Rubio is probably above average, but I don't know how well he'll work on this team. The two young prospects on this team are Dante Exum and Donovan Mitchell. First, Dante Exum. He is supposedly going to be an all-star, but his injuries have plagued his chances of doing so. For all you biased Aussies saying he'll star, get over it. Dante Exum's career is over and he's going to be on the bench for the rest of his career unless he does something crazy to turn it around. Next we have Donovan Mitchell. He's someone I do believe in though. He looks like he could be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, steal of this draft. Now the reason why I see potential in this guy is because he averaged 28 points per game in the Summer League, which was the highest in the Summer League this year. But back to Utah. This team, though they have some good players, don't seem close to competing with other teams like Houston. There are a lot of questions as well, like, can Gobert be a good leader and win games for Utah? Losing Gordon Hayward is definitely going to take a massive toll on this team. I project Utah will win 35 to 40 games next season. Number 10, the Memphis Grizzlies. Now this team and the 9th seed team I was having trouble with placing, but I decided to put Memphis here with a very similar reason. They have talent, just not enough. Mike Conley is an underrated star, and Marcus Gasol is also an underrated big man, making a very underrated duo. These two have helped the Memphis Grizzlies to some playoff appearances and even some upset wins, but this team is simply not good enough to compete against the other Western Conference teams. The Grizzlies have no young talent that look good enough to be stars. I just can't see this team making it again unless Mike Conley has an MVP-worthy year. I know this one was very short. There isn't really a lot I can say about the Grizzlies except that they are good but not good enough, if you know what I mean. I predict the Grizzlies will win 38 to 40 games next season. Number 9, the New Orleans Pelicans. Yes, I believe that the Pelicans duo of Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins will fail. Now as you notice, I said that Memphis were just knocked out of 9th by this team, and here's why. Now I was taking both situations into consideration here. If the Pelican situation does work, I can see this team going high into playoff seeds, maybe 6th or 5th. But if they do think it's time to give up and get something back for Cousins before he may leave them in free agency, then I think the Pelicans may go as low as 11th or 12th. So I'm just averaging it out here. 9th is the seed for the Pelicans if the experiment fails, but they don't trade either player. So chemistry isn't good, but this team isn't trash like the Knicks, so they'll do average. Some other bad things for the Pelicans are starting Rajon Rondo and Drew Holiday together. That is sure to fail. Both ball dominant players, it's just not going to work out. I predict the Pelicans will win 38 to 42 games. If they trade one of the stars, then 35 wins, or if it works, then maybe 47 games, closing in on 50. But as I said, this is just me averaging it out. 9th is the seed for the Pelicans if the experiment fails, but they don't trade either player. So chemistry isn't good, but the team isn't trash. And that'll wrap up part 1 of my conference standings predictions. Stay tuned for part 2 of the Western Conference, where I will tell you my top 8 and the playoff seeds. That is out hopefully tomorrow, so subscribe for that and leave a like. If you are new, I'm an NBA channel where I make videos like this 3 times a week, so if you're interested, subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I am out. Peace.
I got designer from head to my toe. I'm on designer, my bitch on the coat. I got Da Vinci all over my coat. I'm on the X and I jump on the phone. I'm on the Molly, I'm on the bean. 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 Lil Pump rich, he finna get richer. I pop a bean, then fuck on your sister. No,